Hello and welcome. This is James Blanchard, Cisneros, at your service. Today I will be reading the November 21st Facebook post and making a few comments on it, and I trust that it will assist both of us on our journeys. If you do find it helpful and you're watching on Facebook, please be so kind as to put your cursor over the screen. You can give it a thumbs up here. Or on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, thumbs up down here. It helps with the listening process. Thank you for that. Here we go. Absolute truth is not always absolutely right for you. The beginning of the end of self-judgment starts with the understanding that where you are right now is perfect for you. For example, if most others say that forgiveness is the proper response to your situation, yet it does not feel right for you at this moment in time to forgive, then it is not true or right for you right now. Later on, forgiveness might feel right for you. Therefore, in that moment, forgiveness will be right and true for you. Your emotions will tell you what is a vibrational match to where you are in your development, and regardless of what the world tells you, right here and now, exactly as you are, is perfect for you. Head in the direction that feel most aligned with your present values. This is all that is ever asked of you to experience the perfection of the present moment. You always are at your highest vibrational, most knowledgeable state. Thus, you are always doing exactly what you need to be doing to better understand yourself and grow. Where does this whole idea of self-judgment comes from? Let us remember that judgment is one of the ego's main fuel sources. So when we judge ourselves or others, then we're fueling the ego's thought system. If we're fueling and aligning with the ego's thought system, then the ego and its thought system get to survive. If we're not fueling it, it slowly dissolves into the nothingness from which it came. So how does the ego have us judge ourselves for being human, having a human experience? Well, it has set up very narrow parameters of what emotions are correct, what actions, reactions, interactions are correct, and how they should look like. And so if we don't think we fit into this narrow pathway, then we feel abnormal, not normal, not wise enough, not kind enough, not generous enough, not spiritual enough, because we're not doing or thinking the way we have been programmed to by the ego. And so the ego has us look at others, at other bodies, and how others experience their lives. And it says, for example, if you're dealing with issues with forgiveness, it says, well, this person X or Y forgave, and they became the spiritual beings that they are, so you should be doing that. And if you're not doing that, then you're somehow not connected to God. And you're not worthy of God. And so if you don't forgive, then the ego tells you, well, you're not forgiving because you or your brother are not good enough, or wise enough, or spiritual enough, or mature enough, or developed enough. And therefore, that's why you are in a judgmental place, because it's your fault or it's your brother's fault. And so we judge our brothers, we judge ourselves, the ego gets to survive. Simple enough for the ego. In truth, let us remember that even these spiritual beings were not always so perfectly spiritual. They had a past, they had a life experience. Even Jesus threw tables over in church, taxpayers' tables. And so that wasn't quite a forgiving action at the moment. I'm sure it had its own message, but, if Jesus wasn't quite loving every single moment of the day, and he was perfectly fine with himself, let us take an example from that and see that we don't have to be exactly what the ego calls perfect every single time. Because this is a secret the ego doesn't tell you. The ego doesn't tell you that imperfection is perfection. For you see, let's release this illusion, the ego and its illusions and its pathway. Let's release that for a second. And let us remember who we are. We are God's creation. We are love. We are love's creation. And we have co-created this journey with God's source. And so our journey is perfect, no matter what it looks like to the ego, no matter what it looks like to the illusion. Illusion can look at us and say we're not wise enough or spiritual enough or worthy enough of God's love. Illusions can say whatever they want about our journey. It doesn't matter, because illusions are not real. So whatever they say is nothingness. You only make it something when you believe the illusion is real. When you give the illusion, the ego, power, then it can judge you and it can affect you. Its judgment can affect you. When you remember that you are God's creation, that you have nothing to do with the ego, that the ego is simply an invention of humanity, then when the ego judges us, we know that it is simply an illusion, an invention. It is not God, from God's source. And therefore its judgments do not even affect us. And so let us do this today. Let us not judge ourselves as the ego would have us do. For we have tried that hundreds of times. And where does it get us? It really gets us nowhere. So let's say you're having issues with forgiveness. Let's say people are telling you that you're supposed to forgive this individual. And you know what? You're not quite feeling it yet. You know what? Whatever you're feeling is perfect for you. It's perfect for this world. It's perfect for your growth and development. You can't sometimes go from the ground to the roof without a ladder. Many times, most of us need these ladders, need these steps. And sometimes feeling the lack of forgiveness is the step on the ladder to feeling forgiveness. Sometimes turning those tables over is a step on the ladder to realizing that you're God's son. And we are all God's creation. And so you see, every single step on the ladder is a gift that not only are we offering ourselves, but because we are all one, when we offer this lack of self-judgment to ourselves, when we offer ourselves the reminder that our journey is perfect for us, co-created with God, for the betterment of all mankind, then no matter what that journey looks like, no matter what your journey looks like, you end your self-judgment. Because self-judgment is an illusion of the ego. Self-judgment is not an extension or an expression of love. Love is loving. Love sees your journey and blesses it, no matter what it looks like. Love gives you whatever time you think you need to find forgiveness, to find compassion, to find kindness. Because love knows that all those are already within you. And it's simply because we have bought into the ego's fairy tale that we have created these blocks to the awareness of who we truly are. And so your journey is sacred. Your journey is perfect. There is no more need for self-judgment. There's no more need for becoming angry or resentful or jealous and then judging ourselves for that and judging others for that. If we experience that, then so be it. Let's experience this anger. Let's experience this lack of forgiveness and say, okay, interesting. I know that deep down inside, I know that I am love. And I know that the extensions and expressions of love are peace, kindness, joy, forgiveness, compassion. If I'm not experiencing these, if I'm experiencing anger or resentment or jealousy or hate, if I can't forgive right now, then I'm doing this for some reason. I'm doing this to feel the illusion, so I can feel it long enough to see that it's not real, that it's not really useful for me anymore. It can be useful for a time, and we can have anger and hatred and have it flowing through our veins, through our hearts, through our souls. And little by little we start to feel the burden of the ego's illusions. And we start to feel that how unalike these emotions are to the truth in us. But it was only because we carried these emotions, these ego illusions long enough that we got enough burden from them, that we carried the burden for so long that we finally realized, you know what? I don't need this burden anymore. I can set it aside. I can forgive. But you can only forgive now because you carried that burden for so long, because you felt the anger, the lack of forgiveness, and you felt how unalike these emotions and actions and interactions were with you. And so, because you felt them long enough, you now forgive. And so were these angers, these hatreds, were they actually ever curses on your journey? Because they helped you get to a place where you could forgive. And so if they were helping you realize who you truly are, were they ever bad for you, really, in the first place? Or were they just a perfect part of the process of your own sacred journey that's helping you get, in whatever way you specifically, individually, need to get to the place of forgiveness? Only you know how to get there yourself. Only you know what you need. And maybe you needed this. And if you went through this, you needed this. But this helped you learn that you are forgiveness. And so we do not need to curse this anymore. We do not need to curse the ego. We do not need to curse our anger or our judgment of others or selves. We do not need to curse others because they helped us. They all were part of a process that helped us come to realize who in truth we are, to align more and more with our light. And so today, let us do that. If we're experiencing the ego's illusions, let us not judge ourselves for that. Let us remember that we are God's creation and that our journey is sacred. And so let us see, okay, this is what I'm experiencing right now. Interesting. Let me be with it for a while. Let me think about it for days if I want to. Let me toss and turn at night and not go to sleep if I want to. And let me do this long enough to realize that, you know what? I do not need this. I am God's creation. I am worthy of peace. I am an extension of love, and forgiveness is an extension of love, and peace is an extension of love, and peace and love are an expression of love, and this is who I truly am. And so let me now release this. I played with this in this little game long enough. Let me align with the truth within me and release the illusion. Release the anger. Forgive. Release the judgment. And the more you align with forgiveness, with the truth in you, the stronger you make this truth. The more you align with your true nature, little by little the ego begins to dissolve. Judgments, anger of self and others, judgment of self and others begins to dissolve. Because we used it, because we needed to use it. But we don't need it anymore. And so it is gone. It is no more. And so when that's gone, the need to judge yourself is gone. And when the need to judge yourself is gone, because we're all one, the need to judge others is gone. And yes, we have been programmed by the ego since birth. So let us not judge ourselves if we once again become angry, resentful, jealous, hateful. If we lack forgiveness. It's going to happen. It's probably will happen. And that's okay if it happens. Let us simply remember, is this happening? You know what? This is really not me. I've, through my life experience, already experienced enough to know that this is not me. Let me release it. Let me align with my true nature. And as I align with my true nature, the illusion dissolves. And then all that is left is this love that you are. This memory that helps you remember that you are love. And you are worthy of God's love. And you can be embraced by God. And that you are worthy of God's love. And that you are kind enough. That you are worthy enough. That you are spiritual enough, smart enough, wise enough. Because you have always been this. It's simply the ego blocked your awareness to this for a little while. And so for a little while you played in the illusion. And for a little while you bought into it. And by swimming in that swamp, You got tired of it sooner or later, and you said there must be a better way, and you released the illusion and aligned with your true nature. And this is who in truth we are. This is who in truth we all are. So let us let go of self-judgment today. That is no longer needed. Simple as that. We no longer need to judge ourselves for not being perfect according to the ego. Because the secret is that you are perfect. The secret that the ego doesn't tell you is that you are perfect because you're God's creation. And so your journey, no matter what it looks like to the ego, is perfect. And guess what? So too, because we're all one, so too are your brothers and sisters' journeys perfect for them. Regardless of what the ego or your ego says. It's perfect for them. So when you remember this, you have peace. You have greater and greater peace. Because you have no longer a need to judge yourself or others. So peace results. And what happens when you receive peace? What's your reaction to living in a state of peace? Gratitude. Each and every moment, gratitude is a reflection of somebody who's self-aware. Somebody who has remembered their true nature. Somebody who has remembered that self-judgment is simply a little game the ego plays. And that we're no longer children. We no longer need to play games. Now we can hold up the light. So our brothers and sisters can remember their own truth by seeing it in us. Thank you very much for your time. I love you very much. If you'd be so kind as to like, comment, or share the video, it would help with the listing process and it might help somebody find this video someday. If you would like to leave me a question or a comment, I will be delighted to try and offer a response. And if you can please subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would love to have you in that community. Again, thank you so much for your time. I love you very much. And God willing, we'll see each other tomorrow. Peace.